Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Baking Bakers. We're at my house today, and it's really hot outside, but it's nice. We're going to do some cooking outside here later this evening, but we're going to get ready for that today. We're making pizza, but not just, frozen pizza in the oven. We are making homemade Neapolitan-style pizza in our Uni pellet-fired pizza oven. So the first thing we need to do is get our pizza dough made up, and it's a really simple recipe. There are 4 ingredients in it. It's really hard to screw up. It's just going to take a little bit of time, so we need to measure things out pretty accurately, and we're going to use our KitchenAid mixer to mix and knead our dough for us, and then give it some time to rise. So I'll show you what we've got here for ingredients and how we're going to mix them together. All right, so like I said, it is important that we keep everything accurate in our measurements. So we're going to use a scale here, and I'm going to put it in grams because that's what the recipes are in. We're going to set our mixing bowl on here, and then we're going to zero the scale. Okay. Now I need 680 grams of water. So I have some water in here. It is 110 degrees. That's important. You don't want it too hot, but you want it to be hot enough to activate your yeast. So we're sitting right at 110 degrees here. 680, that's too much. I knew that would happen. $676. So now we're going to put our yeast in from that, and I'm using instant yeast here. We don't really need quite this whole packet. We really need about 4 or 5 grams. Put about that much in. Okay. Now to that, we are going to add a whole bag, which is a kilo, 1,000 grams of our double-aught pizza flour. And it's important that you use the right type of flour because it's got the right gluten content and everything to make our pizza dough stretch the way we want it to. You could make half of the recipe. It's easy to just use the whole bag of flour though, so that's why we're making the size that I am. And we're at 1686. We were at 685 with just the yeast and water. So, okay. Last thing we're going to add is some salt, and we need about 30 grams. I'm going to have to pour it. 10. 20, 30. Okay, now we're going to take this, slide our mixer in here, get rid of this, and we're going to just lock this and let it stir until that dough starts to come together on slow speed. And we'll go slow +1. Okay, now that our dough is all coming together, we need this to knead and to mix on medium speed for 8 minutes. We're going to go right there. So while this dough kneads in the mixer, I will mention that the amount of yeast that we put in is directly correlated to the amount of time that you have to let it rise. I'm planning on 4 hours here, so we've got some time, so that's why I didn't use the whole packet. If you need it to rise faster, you can put more yeast in. If you have longer, or even an overnight, you want to cold proof it in your refrigerator, you can do that, and you use less yeast. I used the Uni app on my phone to kind of determine how much of each of those components to put in there. we have like I said, an Udi pizza oven. I'll show you here in a little bit. And they have an app for your phone that gives you different recipes or different amounts for the pizza dough recipes. So that's where the pizza dough recipe came from. But anyway, this is starting to knead, and you can see everything mixing and coming together really well. It looks pretty good. All right, our 8 minutes is just about up here. You can see how nice that dough is stretching. Go ahead and shut this off. Pull it off of our mixer here. It's very sticky. Okay, next step here, we are going to go ahead and transfer our dough into a oiled bowl where it's going to sit and rise. Do my best to get it all out of here. All right, we're going to cover our bowl with some plastic wrap here, and this is just going to sit out on the counter where it's warm. Not as warm as it is outside. We're going to give it about 4 hours, but really what we're looking for is for it to double in size. So it has been about 2.5, maybe 3 hours. We haven't been the full 4 hours that I was anticipating, but I was double checking my recipe, and I forgot to switch from active yeast to instant yeast. So we probably put more yeast in than we really needed, and it rose a little bit faster. But look at this, nice big full bowl of our dough here. So we're going to flour the countertop here and turn this out, and we're just going to divide it into dough balls. We're going to get 6 dough balls out of this. They should be about 285 grams a piece. I don't know that we're going to actually weigh them. I might. And then we're going to shape them into nice balls, put them on another tray, and then they're going to go in the refrigerator to rest for a little while. Okay, so we're just going to take a little bit of all-purpose flour here and spread this out on our counter so that nothing sticks to it. And then we'll turn our dough out. Didn't get my saran wrap sprayed very good. Should have done that, but we'll get it scraped off of there. Alright, our cooking spray did a pretty good job. So like I said, we're going to go into 6 dough balls here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of slice this in half. This isn't the best dough cutter, but I thought it would work. Okay. Just kind of roll these a little bit, get some flour on them so they're not quite so sticky. We want these in thirds. So now we're going to take each one of these and we're just going to kind of form them into a nice ball, tucking the bottom up underneath. You kind of slide them around on the counter here. You want that top to be nice and smooth and tight. And just keep tucking the bottom until you get just the right shape. Once we've kind of got what we're looking for here, we're going to set them on a greased tray. I didn't weigh them. I think we'll be close enough. here. Very nice. So here's what our dough balls look like right now. And like I said, we're going to stick these in the refrigerator, let that gluten relax a little bit, and then when we're ready, we'll bring them out and get them ready to cook. They need to have at least a half an hour to rest, but can go longer than that. Now I should also mention at this point that you can freeze these dough balls, and right now would be the appropriate stage to do so. And I will be doing that with some of ours because we have, we'll use 3 of them tonight, 3 of them some other time. So they're kind of ready to go for us. But yeah, anytime after they've had this rest and they're in the refrigerator, or from the time they are finished rising until you get them out to make the pizzas out of them, you can put them in the freezer. And then once you want to use those again, you would just put them in the fridge until they're completely thawed, and then let them rest there. So we'll do that, and then here in an hour or so, we'll get ready and make our pizzas. All right, it is about time for dinner. So we've moved outside. We have our Unifrya pizza oven here. This is a wood pellet fired pizza oven. So we're going to take the cap, which is a scoop, off of our chimney there, and I'm going to pull the pellet hopper out of the back, and we're going to load this up with a few pellets and get our fire started. I have a little fire starter square here that we're going to use, and then we're just going to put a handful of pellets around that. A little more than a handful. And we'll start this and then stick it in the pizza oven and let it heat up. We'll keep a pretty close eye on our fire. As that starts to light, we'll have to add some more pellets in through the little door at the top here. But we've got a fire started. It's going to take a little while for this to get up to temperature and heat up the stone that's inside there. Our pizza oven is coming up to temperature. Got a nice fire in there. Takes a little while to warm that stone up, but it's warming up enough. We can go in and start getting our first pizza ready. Alright, so we're over here at the counter. We've got our 3 pizza dough balls that we're going to make up 3 pizzas here tonight. A few toppings and things that we're going to put on them. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to zoom the camera in. We're going to build our first one right on our pizza peel here, and we'll get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take some cornmeal and put a generous coating on this peel. And that is to keep the dough from sticking to it so that we can get a good launch into the pizza oven. You don't want your pizza to stick. Now we're going to go ahead and take one of our dough balls here, and we're just going to keep stretching it a little bit, working it into a little bit bigger circle. We want it to be nice and thin, but we don't want to stretch holes through it. I like to just kind of let the weight of the dough hang stretch itself. If you've got some thick spots, you can kind of work them out with your fingers as you work it around. You can also just use your hands, kind of stretch it. isn't going to be the most round pizza that I've ever made, but they all taste the same. Okay, so our edges are a little thicker, which is fine. Nice and thin in the center there. Make sure that it moves good. Okay, we're going to start off with some sauce. You can use whatever sauces and toppings and stuff that you like. We're doing what we like. This first pizza here is going to be for the kids. We're going to have some cheese pieces, and a couple with some pepperoni on it. Okay, got our sauce. Got some mozzarella cheese here. And a few pepperoni. About like that. Alright, our pizza oven is nice and hot. We've got our pizza here, and I have a timer pulled up on my phone because we want to keep track of time really close. So shake it around, make sure it still moves. We're going to quickly pull our door, slide the pizza in, put the door back on, and start our timer. We want to give it about 20 seconds before we're going to pull it out with the peel and rotate it. 10. 20. See, we've already got some bubbling. We're going to spin that. Give it another 20 seconds here. About a minute and a half total is all it's going to take. Okay, we're at 45 total. Minute 10. Oh yeah, looking really good. And a minute and a half. I'm going to call that one done. I don't want to overdo it for my kids. If it gets too burnt, they won't eat it. Put our door back on. We're going to let our stone recover. We may need to add a few more pellets while we go in and make the next pizza. Alright, that one looks excellent. We're going to get our pizza cutter out here. Go ahead and cut one of these a second time. There you go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make up another pizza. This one's going to be for me. My wife can make her own.
Dad, why you don't have that big one?
I'm making a pizza.
Okay.
Okay.
This one a big pizza ever?
No, not the biggest pizza ever.
That's the most pizza ever?
That's never gonna make the biggest pizza. The biggest pizza had over 1 million pepperonis on it. It was like 13,000 square feet.
Alright.
How do you know the pizza?
Yep. Okay, so I got my dough on there. Ooh, got a sticky spot. Throw a little cornmeal under there. Always check that, make sure that it's still moving so that it doesn't end up stuck. Now, I'm gonna do just simple here. Normally I would have some sausage or something cooked up, I don't. We got some bacon bits, we're gonna crumble a few of those on before we put the cheese. And then I'll put some cheese on. Get a little more. That'll work. And then I'm going to put pepperoni on the whole thing.
Last one for me.
Okay, that looks good. Let's go cook this one. All right, let's go. This pizza's a little bigger, a little thicker crust. It's going to take a little bit longer to cook than that first one did. My camera over here does not like the heat, so I'll use my phone. I think we're about done here. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah. I'm going to spin it one more time. Give it just a few more seconds in there. There we go. Beautiful. All right, let's give this pizza a try. Oh, it's hot. Nice thick crust. This is excellent pizza. All right, we just finished up our third pizza. This one is for my wife. She made herself a chicken bacon ranch, no red sauce on it. It got the biggest bubble on any pizza I've ever made, but that's hers. So anyway, we're gonna enjoy our pizza. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this pizza making experience, and let me know if this is something you try. We like to do this a lot of times when we have bigger family gatherings. Everybody can make their own. We make up a bunch of dough and just keep making pizzas. So, you want to say hi, Randy girl? Tell everybody hi. Did you like your pizza?
Yeah.
Was it really yummy? Good. All right. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you next week here on Baking Bakers. I don't know what's coming next. Leave us some suggestions, but yeah, we'll see you next time.